Between the election being 76 days away, the pandemic spreading, and having to explain WAP to your parents,
wet and gushy.
honest journalism is more crucial than ever, and we're not just talking about Jonathan Swan memes. But unfortunately, like most things, there's a race problem in journalism, and journalists are taking to Twitter to chronicle their experiences. To learn more, I talked with Pulitzer Prize winner Wesley Lowery, senior writer at Rolling Stone Jamil Smith, and freelance journalist Patrice Peck. How new is the issue of journalism having a diversity problem?
In the case of the United States, right, the problems with diversity in media have existed since the creation of media.
Most of our major newsrooms have only been racially integrated for 40, 50, 60 years. And what we know is that most of our newsrooms have kind of structurally resisted large-scale integration efforts over the course of that time.
So racism in the media wasn't started by Rupert Murdoch.
No. He can't take credit for that, unfortunately, no.
But he can take credit for perfecting it. If representation in journalism has always been a huge issue, why is it getting its 15 minutes of shame now?
This is a moment, a national moment, when Black voices are being prioritized. And we don't know, given this country's history, how long that's going to last. I know that sounds a bit cynical, but I mean, if you just look at the history of, what Black people have had to do to get their voices out, creating things that speak to our communities in ways that the traditional press doesn't.
If the goal of a news organization is to cover everything as completely and accurately as possible, we have to actually commit to staffing in a way that no matter what story breaks tomorrow, we're equipped to cover it. Too many of our newsrooms just kind of make noises towards that. We have a Black guy, we have a Muslim woman somewhere in the room, right?
Like if you have 4 out of 5 dentists recommending sugar-free gum, and those 4 out of 5 dentists don't have teeth, what the are they doing in that meeting? That does not make sense.
It makes very little sense.
So what can all these newspaper and magazine owners do to make things better? More Hamilton? Like I know the NFL is addressing it by playing Lift Every Voice and Sing. Could the institutions of journalism try that?
I would enjoy more music, but I think the biggest thing that journalism could do would be to hire some Black people.
Right. It's pretty easy.
You would think.
But hiring 1 or 2 new Black reporters isn't going to cut it. Newspapers need to be hiring in management positions too.
At a decision-making level is where you can say, hey, this person is being underutilized. Can I move them over here? Mm-hmm. People of color understand what it's like to be the one person of color in a space like this, and perhaps are going to at least be inclined to think about advocating for that person.
When you don't have enough women working for you, when you don't have enough Black people or other people of color working for you, you are going to miss a lot during an administration like this.
The higher you go, the higher your salary becomes, the more you have the potential to generate generational wealth.
Would it help if we painted a Black Lives Matter mural on the floor of the newsroom?
Unless that mural's made of money.
It's not. It's just made of paint. White newsrooms produce white news, and this whiteness manifests itself in many white ways. One way, euphemisms that make some white people comfortable and people of color not happy. Don't believe me? Here's a game to illustrate the point. I'm going to read you a headline. I would like you to tell me what word the euphemism should be replaced with. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Let's go for it.
Okay, Trump again uses racially insensitive term to describe coronavirus.
I'm going to go with racist, probably racist.
Sometimes it's just that simple. Trump aide apologizes for promoting racially charged video.
I've always wondered what being racially charged would feel like. I think of like Black Lightning, like me being able to throw lightning at people. Being racially charged.
Trump aide apologizes for being racist.
Okay, super clear.
The thing about words is you can use the ones that describe the thing you're trying to say, and then people understand what you're trying to say.
Is that what words are for? I thought they were for making a salad. Another way whiteness manifests itself in the news, false objectivity that centers whiteness, also known as both sidesing. Game number 2. Are there good guys on both sides? AKA, who is the oppressor? Civil War, North versus South.
Seems unlikely that there are good guys on the side fighting for slavery.
The good guys were in the North.
They're both oppressors.
World War II, allies versus Nazis.
Nazis are the oppressors.
As a general rule, Nazis are bad.
Jedis versus the Sith.
Okay, here we can actually have a conversation.
Depends on exactly which Star Wars universe we're talking about.
I have not seen Star Wars.
For those keeping score at home, Patrice won! Whiteness in media is super toxic. Addressing it is not brain surgery. If you're spending money on news, try to seek out the work of Black and brown journalists, and for the love of God, stop getting your news from Chuck Todd's goatee. If you liked this video, hit subscribe and let me know in the comments below. And if you didn't like this video, I'm sure you've already left a comment. Thank you so much.